What's good? This is JVB representing SPD, and that is sportsperdiem.com. We can finally put an end to the Chicago Bears season, a very disappointing season, and a disappointing performance to go out. I know they won 21-19 against the Minnesota Vikings, but the Vikings weren't even playing anybody important. This felt like a preseason game. Even with the Bears starters in there, it just felt like a preseason game. You know, seeing all the starters on Minnesota on the sideline, you know, some of them don't even got pads on. You know, they just chilling, eating sunflower seeds and shit, eating grapes, getting massages and shit, back rubs, all this shit. But I say it was disappointing because this Bears offense, and I give Mitch Trubisky credit for the end of the game, you know, rolling out, feeling the pressure with a clutch fourth down pass to Riley Ridley, but this team couldn't do shit in the red zone. You know, David Montgomery had that impressive touchdown where the offensive lineman helped him get into the end zone. That was nice, but they had to settle for 4 field goals from Eddie Pinheiro, including the game-winning field goal at the end of the game. But this offense is what we thought it was, man. Like, it's not a good offense, and it hasn't been the whole season. And, you know, I know Matt Nagy said he was going to go on a break. He was going to take a break, get away from football. And I don't blame him because there's a lot of work to be done between he, Ryan Pace, and Mitch Trubisky. Those are the 3 guys that need to get their shit together. Ryan Pace running the team, Matt Nagy coaching the team, and Mitch Trubisky performing on the field. Now, I'm not going to be too long on this video because I am going to do a reaction to the press conference that's going to be held tomorrow between Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy. And I know there's going to be some good questions tomorrow for Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, specifically for Ryan Pace because we barely hear him talk. It might be bullshit. It might be, well, you know, we doing pretty well. You know, we're fine. You know, Mitch is going to be good and blah, 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 blah. And Matt Nagy, I have all the faith in the world with Matt Nagy running his offense and coaching his team, blah, 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 blah. But we'll see tomorrow how it goes, you know, the end of the season press conference. But they really need to make some fucking moves in the offseason. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much in depth with it, but y'all watch the games. You know, you heard what I've been saying on YouTube. You heard what other YouTubers may say. Guys on talk radio, guys on television. You see it with your own 2 eyes. We know what needs to be improved on. But will there be any significant action done to address those needs? That's the big question. They need a quarterback. They need to bring in another quarterback to challenge Mitchell Trubisky. They need offensive line help. Charles Leno is fucking trash. And I know the whole offensive line hasn't played well all season, but this is a guy who's been here the whole season. This isn't a guy who was a defensive lineman who converted to an offensive lineman, a guy who's on the practice squad, a guy who's been a lifelong journeyman offensive lineman. No. Last year, he had an okay season. He was not an elite left tackle. What we saw last season out of Charles Leno was a career year. Now, he might not be as bad as he was this season, but he's pretty damn close. He is not a good left tackle. They need to address the left tackle position. They need to address the offensive line. I don't know how, but they need to address that, and they need to address the quarterback competition for Mitch Trubisky. Those are the 2 biggest things the Chicago Bears need to address going into the 2020-2021 season. They need to bring in more pass rushing to help Khalil Mack because it's evident teams aren't fucking stupid anymore. They're going to double, triple, quadruple team Khalil Mack if they need to. And there's also going to be questions about who is going to be on this team next season. Who will stay on this team next year? Who are you willing to re-sign? Who are you willing to extend? Who are you willing to let go? Because at the moment, the Bears don't really have that much cap space. So they're going to really need to be smart with the moves they make because those 3 needs that I mentioned, they need to address that shit, man. In the draft, in free agency, they need to address those issues. But going back to the game yesterday, The star of the game offensively, again, Allen Robinson, man. Shout out to you. He had 98 catches. They couldn't give him 2 more catches, man. They couldn't find room to throw him the ball a couple of more times. But Allen Robinson had a great season. He's a top 10 receiver to me, in my opinion, especially considering who the fuck his quarterback is. So shout out to you, Allen Robinson, on the great season. By far the best offensive player on the team. And then also yesterday, shout out to David Montgomery. We see the glimpses. He has the ability. You know, he may not be the fastest guy. He may not have the most wiggle, but this guy gets open. This guy breaks tackles. This guy is pretty damn good. We just need an offensive line, because with an offensive line and his style of running, he can rush for 1,300 easy. But this team needs to shore up the offensive line, because I don't care what quarterback you bring in next season, if they have the balls to bring in somebody next season to challenge Mr. Trubisky, they're going to need protection. You can't just snap the ball and then a motherfucker already in your face. You need time back there. I don't care if you miss Trubisky, Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. You need time. But it was a good game from David Montgomery, you know, his second 100-yard rushing game this season. And hopefully there's a lot more in the future. I'm pretty much done talking about the game. You know, Mike Boone for the Minnesota Vikings, he ran all over the Bears defense. He had like 140 yards. They had Kirk Cousins didn't play. They had Manning, whatever the fuck his name is, Sean Manning, whatever his name is, he was playing. But nobody was playing. You know, Minnesota locked up the 6th seed. They was already going to be the 6th seed regardless, so they felt no need to play nobody. But the Bears win 21-19. Who cares? Eddie Pinheiro kicked the game-winning field goal. I guess that's one thing you can say, at least going into next season, you don't got to worry about a kicker for the time being. You know, he can always fuck up again during next season, but at least going into the season next year, you don't got to have no kicking competitions and all this bullshit. But the Bears in the season, a very mediocre 8-8. I know a lot of people are going to say, you know, at least it's not a losing season. Well, guess what, motherfucker? It ain't a winning season either. This is not what we planned going into this season. This team had a lot of high hopes. This team was expected to play in January and possibly in February, and they shit the bed. Mr. Trubisky didn't improve. He actually regressed. Matt Nagy didn't help calling plays, and you already knew the defense was going to regress a little bit because you just can't get that many turnovers every single season. You know, the defense was still top 4, but the offense fucking was trash. They was worse than they were last year, and they weren't even that good last year offensively. It just felt that way because this offense this season was so fucking bad. And it was so fucking disappointing. And thankfully, this season is over. It was a very disappointing season. Nobody should be celebrating 8-8. Let's try to get better next season. Let's address these issues that I'm talking about, that everybody's talking about. Because if not, come this time next year, we're going to be talking about the same old shit. But I'm out. So like the video and share the video. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take it easy. God bless. Peace.